everyone. Thanks again for tuning in to Sam's Workshop. I hope you are all having a wonderful day. So, today we are going to be discussing A House with Good Bones by T. Kingfisher. Let me just say, I am a huge fan of Kingfisher's storytelling. I read Nettle and Bone and What Moves the Dead, and both of those were very pleasant surprises to me. Definitely not something I expected when I picked up those books. And Kingfisher, again, continues to surprise me with this novel. It's a horror, and it follows Samantha. Now, she is an archaeological entomologist, so she studies dead bugs. But she's sent on furlough. You know, there was a discovery at one site. I can't remember the specifics of it. It's not really important. The important part is she's put on furlough. So she's near her childhood home where her mom lives, so she decides, let me spend some time with mom, you know. Brother says something is up with mom, so I'm going to go spend time with her. And she notices that the house has been returned to the way it looked back when her grandmother was alive. Now, her grandmother was very conservative, very Christian. Everything, you know, her and her family aren't really like. They like bold, they like colorful, they're pretty liberal, they're pretty, you know, the opposite of their grandmother. So she's shocked to see all the colorful Ys have been painted to like this eggshell white. All her grandmother's old photographs and paintings are back up on the walls. She's like, what the heck is going on here? And she begins to notice, you know, her mother has lost lots of weight. Her mother no longer speaks ill or makes snide comments about her grandmother. She's like, her mother now says grace for dinner. She's like, what's happening? What's going on? So maybe she thinks it's just, you know, latent grief, right? She's like, well, maybe this is my mother's way of dealing with the death of her mother. So whatever. I'll let it slide. But then she starts noticing lots of strange things happening in the house. She begins to notice, there are no bugs anywhere on the property, which is weird. Wherever you have plants, you're going to have bugs. And she starts examining more history of the house and history of her family, and a lot of creepy stuff starts to happen. You know, there's a scene where she wakes up and all of a sudden there are ladybugs swarming her room, and she's like, okay, this is not normal. She starts to suffer from sleep paralysis. More and more vultures begin to circle just her house in this cookie cutter neighborhood. Just her house. And she examines old pictures, and she starts to see weird things in these pictures, like a child's hand coming up the roses. And when she goes to examine the rose bushes, she finds a jar of just teeth. Lots of weird things are going on. I love Kingfisher's writing style because I think Sam is hilarious. She's smart, she's brilliant, she's plus size, she's curvy, and she owns it, and she has the confidence of just a badass. I love that about her. But what makes everything even better is her reaction to everything, because it's so realistic. I mean, this is a very creepy novel, and it's only made creepier because of Sam's reaction to everything that's going on. I mean, I love her reaction because it really just ups the ante, because it feels real. You know, you feel like you are Sam. You feel like you are in this position that she is in. And if it were me, I would be freaking the heck out. A room full of ladybugs? No, sir. I am not a bug person at all. I am just anti, I'm all for saving the bees, but I just need all bugs to be away from me. That's it. So, when even she gets freaked out by that, you know, she's a archaeological entomologist. She studies bugs. She's here for bugs. It's her career. But for even her to get freaked out, it's just like, okay, something wrong is happening here. It was just really engaging from beginning to end, mainly because of the tone of the story and, the snarkiness and also that realism factor, because her reactions, first of all, Sam comes off as a really real person. She doesn't read as a character. She's relatable, she's funny, she's charismatic, she's quirky. I mean, she likes to spend her nights drinking boxed wine and watching murder mysteries on TV. I mean, she is so relatable as a person. So for the reactions to come alive and really just attach to the reader because of that realism, it makes the story even creepier. It makes everything a little bit more tense as you're reading it, which makes, again, the story even more engaging, more so than her personality. I mean, it really is such a wonderful story. Kingfisher is an amazing storyteller. So I do have to give this book 4.5 out of 5 stars. I'm a huge fan of Kingfisher. I can't wait to see what they do next. This story, it's like every time she writes a story, it's like it's my new favorite of her stuff. I love Nettle and Bone. And then I read What Moves It, and I'm like, oh my god, I love this one even more than that one. And I read A House with Good Bones now, and I love it even more so than the previous two. It's like her writing style just continues to be more and more engaging to me because she balances humor with horror so well. And she really focuses on building up those characterizations and that personality and that tone, which resonate throughout the story and make everything else, like the creepiness and the atmosphere, even more impactful. So yeah, 4.5 out of 5 stars. If you want to purchase the book, which again I do highly recommend, I will include links in the description on where to purchase. And on that note, I hope you all will continue to support me here by liking the podcast, subscribing to it, and sharing it with all your book-loving friends. You can also become a supporter on Buy Me Coffee, Ko-fi, Patreon, by purchasing one of my handmade candles on my Etsy store, or by following any of my social media platforms. I hope you all have a wonderful rest of your day, and as always, happy reading!